I'd like to call now on Dr. Nigel Brennan from Carnarvon Medical Centre Aboriginal Corporation to talk to us about how to persuade your doctors to use the QAAMS machine. Popular topic, I hear.
Carnarvon. We've got a great representation here today. We've got Suzette, Patsy and Lorraine, myself. Carnarvon on the map. Doesn't appear on the QAAMS map. I forgive them. It does now, of course, but the other day I was registering a doctor with APRA. It got rejected. I rang them up and said, why? They said, there's no such place. And I said, hey, come on, I'm working here. What do we call this? They actually admitted to me that on the last update that they'd done, they'd forgotten Carnarvon. That's APRA for you. I think we all know where we're at. I'm a POM. I love some of your expressions like good day and what have you. And where on earth could an English doctor wear this outfit and not get locked up? Well, this is how I go to work, as also the girls from South Hendon will know. This is what I wear at work. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm really privileged that this is my NAIDOC shirt, which I got from Carnarvon, and which most of us wear, and we get really cheesed off when we see someone else. There is one person in the town who has one of these. Obviously, all the staff do, but there's one person. I reckon they nicked it. But we all see them walking down the town, and we know. I reckon Carnarvon is about one of the only AMSs where it's safe to swim in the water, nice, hot, warm water. The salties haven't yet arrived, they're very close, nor the stingers, and we don't get the sharks coming up, so it's a great place to be. And we're looking for more Aboriginal health workers. It's full of passionate folk, I'm sure, just like all of your places are, but they're all hell-bent on self-destruction. Drink, drugs, diabetes. Closing the gap isn't 7 years in our place. It's more like 37 years. And there's nothing I can do about the drink and the drugs. But the diabetes bit, I honestly believe that the QAAMS machine is a real answer. With a good HbA1, about 10 plus, you're facing the patient and they know they've been cheating. So actually, it's a waste of doctor time going through yet again this whole process of, why is it wrong? They say, oh, I'm taking the tablets, doctor, or I'm injecting myself, but we all know that that rather large size is to do with the coke and the diet, as we heard yesterday. So what I use the HbA1 for is to actually say, make them feel guilty. And then I go down the road, but there is a bit of light. We could actually do something about the blood pressure and the lipids. And those are the important little factors that we can make differences and reduce the... We can reduce the strokes and other complications. The ACR I just love because, again, the sugar, we're batting up a gum tree. But with the ACR, you can actually say to the patient, your kidneys are knackered. Let's be honest about it. They're running out of time. And where I am, there is no dialysis in country. They have to leave. And I love the word country, as all of you do. I'm very passionate about where I am. But obviously not half as passionate as the Aboriginals are. So when I say, you're going to have to leave country, go to Geraldton, that's a dirty word. Geraldton, 400, 500k south, that's where our dialysis unit is. So it's a very, very strong argument having an ACR in front of you and saying, look, this is what your kidneys are doing. So that, I think, is one of the real virtues of doing this testing. The number 69. Why the number 69? It's a mystical number, means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. In QAAMS terms, two tests, the ACR and the HbA1. Also reminds me about a little Indian lad, worked all his life in his father's Indian restaurant, worked very hard, came to his wedding night, in bed, liked to think he was experienced, wasn't. And his wife, virgin, next door, well, next to him. And he said to her, "Okay, love, how would you like it? What would you like?" Trying to sound experienced. And she, after a bit, says, "I'd like 69. He looks at her, thinks, looks at her, and says, "You want Peking duck with rice now?" So it means different things to different people. And one of the ways that you have to remember is, I'm a POM. All of your doctors are basically foreign. We'd never heard of this fantastic machine. So when I arrived in Headland, I had Tanya and Helen Edwards coming in with bits of paper saying, "Hey, up, sign this doc." What? It was for these machines. I had no idea what they were talking about. We didn't use them properly. We did a few tests. And then when I went down to Carnarvon, Suzette, been here several years running, fully trained, ready to go, very passionate. No, the doctors wouldn't let him use it. The manager wouldn't let him use it. The doctors, because they were ignorant as to the benefits that we just mentioned. The managers, no, the cartridges cost too much. So Suzette was left frowning, you can see her frown, and just frustrated, like I'm sure a lot of you are, where you've got great ideas, great passion, but you can't actually use it because there's usually some foreigner like me saying, "No, you can't do it." So we got to work. As soon as I said to Suzette, "You are using it," all our cartridges just went finished. You know, we'd made a dent, we've got about 250 diabetics. And it soon became apparent that she was very passionate about it, but she's one of our best workers. She turns up to work. That is one of our problems in Carnarvon. We don't have enough passionate Aboriginal health workers. I'm sure it's the same in a lot of your places where, unfortunately, a lot of the staff, some of the staff, don't turn up. We have that in Carnarvon, where you can see we were very small, and a lot of the staff don't turn up. So if we set up a clinic, we have to pull someone to staff it. If they don't turn up, we're in trouble. We've got someone like Suzette. So if we're using Suzette for another reason, we have to have more staff. Hence we've got Patsy. She comes to work and is, again, a very reliable member of staff. So that's why we brought along a team of us to try and fill the holes, because so often our HbA1's not being done because our staff are being redeployed in other areas. So I would urge that you actually all bring a team along next year to Darwin to actually improve or increase the number of tests that you can do. Once we got our act together, we were actually doing a lot of good work, but we didn't know how to claim it. And so my next slide is in the books. If you're not sure, every single doctor now who comes to Carnarvon, locum or otherwise, we immediately send one of those off to Medicare. They're very, very helpful, especially if you fax it. A 601 is what's called an Aboriginal speciality code, and this allows the doctor or the Aboriginal health worker to be able to claim the Medicare rebate for doing the tests. Suzette and I have a system whereby she logs every single one that she ever does. Lorraine, who's with us, she actually checks that the doctors have claimed it, and if not, either Suzette or I will claim it. Because it's an easy one to forget when you're not doing them regularly, or if you've got locums who may get the result but are not really aware that they've actually that they can claim for it. So let's talk money. But my slides are a little jumbled. Let's not worry about that. What I would... What I'd just like to say is that most of our clients, as I'm sure yours, all actually qualify for the pathology down here, the payments for bulk billing with the concession card holders. Now, the 74991 is the same as a 10991 that we know in everyday consultation, but the 74991 is the pathology test bulk billing payment. So it immediately makes doing an HbA1c, which we get nearly $15 for, plus our bulk billing, gives us $25. So we get around $25 for each test that we do. It's a little more for an ACR. So the whole package of 10 tests actually costs us about $130. And you can see that with every HbA1c we're doing, every test we're getting $250. So we're making a profit. Now, if we get our Aboriginal health workers to do these tests as part of our care plans, they of course can actually claim what's called a 10950, another $62. Or in fact, if we get a nurse, someone who hasn't got a provider number, we actually get another $24. So there's plenty of money to be made. When your managers say, oh, it's too expensive, the actual testing kits cost about $200, and as I say, the actual cost of a cartridge kit is $120. Leave it to me to do the maths. Basically, what you have to do is do 3 tests a month to pay for your testing kit, and you can see we're getting a profit from every single cartridge that we use. So it's a no-brainer. The money is not an issue. When you, as a doctor, are in consultation, you've got a BSL, and it's high again. My lot are, 30 is about average for a lot of them, unfortunately. And you get the usual story. You've all heard it. Just had breakfast, just had Coke, what have you. However, if you've actually got the A1C, you know where you're at. You can actually alter their medication. And as I say, then I actually bring in the guilty bit. And there are other strategies to actually make the patient think that they can improve their health. My message today really is the number 69, to remember that the doctors often don't know what a point-of-care testing machine is. They really can't understand its benefits because why not just send it to the lab? Well, as I've said, in consultation, it's very useful. But also, it actually has these other implications to the patient. As we said yesterday, if they actually see it rolling off the machine, it's theirs. They want to look at it to see it. Oh shit, is that high again? It really does hit them. And then, as I say, there are strategies for the doctors to use to actually use it to their advantage. But please remember, we don't know what the machine is, so inform the foreigners this is what it can do. Thanks very much.